Welcome to Stock Shots. Our guest tonight is Tracy Byrnes of Fox Business News. Tracy is one of the best financial journalists in the business today. Her new book, Break Down Your Money, How to Get Beyond the Noise to Profit in the Markets, has just been released and is a must-read for the individual investor. We were so pleased that Tracy took time out of her busy schedule to be with us on Stock Shots.
Our guest tonight is Tracy Byrnes. Tracy, thanks for being with us on Stock Shots.
Thanks for having me.
Tracy, we'd like to start the show by asking you to tell us about your new book, Break Down Your Money.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Well, it comes out tomorrow. It's available on Amazon. You know, I tell you, I've been a financial journalist. I was a financial journalist for 10 years, and I was an accountant 5 years prior to that, and didn't feel the need to write anything until one day somebody said to me, you know, I don't understand what it is you do, and I started perusing through the bookstore and realized there's all these books out there, and none of them are any fun. And so, really, I wrote with the intention of, if I'm not giggling while I'm writing, then I'm not writing. So it's a book about the market. It walks you through everything from how the market works to how the Fed works. But God willing, you do it with you're laughing a little bit. It's got it because you're not having fun. I'm not there.
Hey, that's great, but because I tell you, I know it also says how to get beyond the noise, and I think that's what a lot of traders at home really need to understand, is there are things that are out there, things that are supposedly, common facts that will cause you to lose money if you follow them at a certain time. So I think it's great that you'd write something that would help people at home understand exactly what's going on the street.
Well, because you know what happens, I think a lot of us, and myself included sometimes, when you do it all the time, you speak the lingo, and sometimes people who aren't in it all the time don't understand the lingo, when really that's all it is at the end of the day. It's just, it's like, learning another language. Once you get the language, it's not rocket science, right? I mean, there are certain just things that you need to understand about the market, and then it should be open to everybody. But I do feel like sometimes when you turn on certain channels, they almost make you feel like it's elitist. Only the smart folk out there can understand this stuff. So the rest of you little people stay away. And that's not how it is. That's not how it should be. So I'm hoping that the book does help you get beyond all that.
Well, that's great. I know that the more books I can read will help me with the tuition that I've paid by jumping out and trading with I feel like oftentimes if the market's open, I need to be in a trade, and I've learned the hard way. So anything that can be a cheat sheet to keep from paying the real life tuition that I've paid would be great. Tracy, we've recently heard some of the traders comment that the mood on the street is the worst that it's been since 9/11. You hear from traders every day. Is the mood on the street really that bearish right now?
You know what? It's not great. It's not. 9/11 was different. 9/11, for a while, we felt defeated. And I don't think, and of course the American spirit picked up eventually, and we turned around and the attitude changed to one of, let's get them kind of thing. But it's not a defeated feeling. It's more of an unknown, like uncharted territories for so many traders. With oil where it is, the market where it is, the financials are not done. I mean, every day somebody says, oh, well, this must be the light at the end of the tunnel, and then we get another set of bad, more write-downs. And so I think a lot of it is just, they're just throwing their hands up because they don't know what to do, and a lot of them are just on the sidelines watching it happen. I mean, you could see that from the daily volume. Nobody's playing.
Well, I keep a journal, and one of the rules that I wrote is quit calling the bottom in the financials, because I lost a lot of money trying to do that.
You are absolutely right on that. Truthfully, I wouldn't call the bottom on anything, and I mean, I don't day trade, and so I can't speak to that. But for the most part, I really think people have to get back to looking at the fundamentals of these companies, and if you believe in them, you invest in them for a fair amount of time. This notion of getting in and out of trades, within 30 minutes is just it's not a game that everybody could play.
Yeah, it's been tough, that's for sure.
It sure has.
Well, Tracy, we hear the Democrats pushing a protectionist trade agenda. Don't you think we should be promoting free trade if we're going to grow this economy out of the recent doldrums?
God, do I. I don't get it sometimes. free trade has created jobs in this country. I'm not sure where they're coming from. I absolutely believe the border should stay open. That way this economy continues to grow. If it weren't for the fact that we were global, half of our multinationals wouldn't have any earnings.
That's absolutely right. Peter Schiff was on our show recently, and he contended that the American consumer is done. As a matter of fact, I think the quote was, "The American consumer is done, stick a fork in him." Do you think that the consumer is in that bad a shape? I know the consumer's in trouble, but is it that bad?
Lord, gotta love Peter. All right, you know what? If Peter's right, then why would a company like Bed Bath & Beyond, now this is a company that sells dishes towels, things you could live without, so our revenues increase to 6%. Darden restaurants, this is like people going out to eat, saw increases. CKE restaurants, which I guess is Hardee's and all those, they saw increases. I mean, how could the consumer be dead and still go out to eat and be buying towels? It's one thing if I understand a company like Walmart does well, that works to Peter's case, that the consumer's dead, he's shopping at Walmart, and that's it. But I don't see it. Maybe we blame the stimulus checks for it, but people are still out there. I went to the Gap at lunch today to buy a T-shirt for my son, and the line was a mile long. There's no dead consumer in my area.
Well, that's good. I was actually in Branson, Missouri last week, and I saw a lot of people vacationing and coming out on the boardwalk with sacks full of stuff. So I would tend to agree on that point.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hey, we've had many people on the show that have argued that the housing downturn is really hurting the consumer because people are using their houses like ATMs. Now, I know that a lot of people got overextended, but is the relationship between housing and the consumer overblown from what we're hearing? I just don't see that relationship being what it's made to be a lot of times.
Well, and again, I have to agree with you. First, the ATM was cut off about a year ago. At one point, money was cheap. It was easy to get a home equity loan or a line of credit. People were drawing down on their homes. But that was cut off about a year ago when this whole mess started. And now, as far as, this whole notion that we're still drowning in our house, I think we're starting to see, people come out again. I've been seeing a lot of for sale signs. Clearly it's contained to certain areas. Miami, Las Vegas, California are still definitely hurting. But I do think we're starting to see a little bit of a sea change, especially with the summer coming. People sell their homes during this time of year. A lot of people like to move and be settled for September. I think we'll see some activity. We're getting to the end of this whole adjustable rate mortgage mess. And as you said, it's a very small percentage of people that were involved in subprimes to begin with, and an even smaller percentage of those that are actually defaulting and foreclosing on them. So, I think part of it is the media. We tend to blow things out of proportion.
For the rest of this great interview, visit our website, www.stockshotz.tv. That's www.stockshotz.tv. Thank you for listening.